be feeding us. It's missing the salad. He brought that boy sleep on no pallets. Hit it like doing magic. Speeding off, going back to the palace. He text me what's up with the malice. Text him back to this shit can get tragic. I do not play for real. Run up on me, you begging to get killed. I'ma rock out with it still. Move it to roll and get popped like a pill. Put it up all the time, yeah. Roll up, blood coming back from a drill. Dropping faded, controlling the wheel. Sick of that lean, that shit made me feel ill. I swear that I'm here to stay. I linger around for a long time.
So when I was 19, when I first started music, my name, I used to go by Soul Calibur. And for that simple reason, I used to love the fucking game Soul Calibur. Like when I was legit, like I would just play that shit all the time. So like, and when I started making music and shit like that, it's just like I was always into that video game type of style. So it was just like I always wanted to do something musically and incorporate video games into that. So like my name used to be Soul Calibur. And like I would use snippets and shit like that from Soul Calibur and like incorporate that with my beats and like all that shit. And then a couple years later, I was like, damn, I know I'm gonna go through some copyright shit if I keep the name Soul Calibur, because of the game I just can't do it. I know for a fact I can't. You know, as I get bigger, I'm gonna have to change something. And I was like, damn, what the fuck I'm about to change my name to? And I was just like, I was watching what regular show. I was watching regular show, and they had that shit, Playcosoul Arm Boy. They were doing the little arm wrestling shit. Like I was like Playcosoul, and I was like, oh shit, Playcosoul, that shit sound hard. I was like, damn, that shit unbeatable. And I was like, damn, and that's some like, you feel me? And I was like, that's some, I'm an unbeatable ass nigga. Me and my dog with Chad was just sitting there joking around. It was just like, yeah. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change my Instagram name to Playcosoul. And then like, literally after that, I'm in college, and like I started telling people, I'm like, my name Playco. And people, and that shit is stuck like a motherfucker. Like the name just say itself for real. You gotta be honest, bro. Playcosoul. The name say itself, bro. So like that shit really stuck. So everybody started calling me Playco, and that shit just really stuck. Like it was just like that. Like I kind of created that for myself, and like it was all through manifestation. I'm really just manifesting this shit for myself. You feel me? Honestly, like that shit really just stuck. Like name Playcosoul. Like I really feel like that's just a worldwide name, and I'm taking that shit over. I'm like that shit. That's me. I'm Playco. Playcosoul is a humble, talented, cool fucking asshole, great guy. At the same time, I'm a lot of things at once, but I'm a motherfucker. Let's just put it at that. I'm a motherfucker, okay? If you don't know who Playcosoul is, bro, just know you're gonna see real soon, bro. Like this shit speak for itself. I feel like, you feel me, if you know me, you can feel the energy, and it's just like, if there's one thing is about Playco, it's just energy. Energy every time. Like that's the biggest compliment that anybody could ever give me, that they always do give me. They just like, I like your energy, I respect your energy. You feel me? I'm very big on that myself. Energy. Most important thing ever. So when you think Playco, just think energy. So like towards the end of high school, that's when that SoundCloud type era, that was when that auto-tune, SoundCloud, all that shit had started coming out and started like really being pushed, and like that was what was cool at the time. You feel me? Like when that SoundCloud shit first came out, like I was, I think, a senior in high school at the time when that shit started really busting. Like, and that's when niggas like X, Ski, all them boys like first started coming on the scene and shit like that, and that shit was fire. Like that shit was it. You feel me? Like that was the first time niggas seen like young niggas, like, you feel me, actually be able to take some shit and just go skyrocket, like go crazy like that, like, and they have their own idea and they really on some like fuck everybody shit, and they just getting lit. You feel me? That was the whole start of a lot of shit. I was listening to niggas like X, Ski Master, Slump God, Bones, Puya, you know, niggas like that, like Lil Peep, all them niggas. You feel me? And then right after that, you know, obviously Juice WRLD came out. All like, shit was just a bunch of shit like that. Like all them niggas was just like creating their own sound, like creating a different sound. And like when you put all that shit together, SoundCloud itself is just like, nigga, that's just legendary. Like the fuck, like what the fuck is touching that? Nothing. Nothing's touching that. Think about it. What's touching that? Nothing. That shit really had a big ass wave on like Broward County, Florida, because at the end of the day, you gotta remember, Broward County was known for being like a tough place, like, you feel me? So like that actually made it cool for niggas to be their self, and it was just like, niggas was really doing their own thing. Like niggas just like started dressing like rock stars, started doing all that, started dyeing their hair and shit like that. started being able to freely express themselves, because you feel me, before niggas was doing that shit, before it was cool to do that, it was looked at as obviously weird, you feel me? Everybody wanted to be like, you feel me, that street nigga, that hood nigga, you feel me, that kind of paved the way for niggas to like open the fuck up and just, you feel me, you want to be lit, then be lit. You want to be a rock star, nigga, and get lit with that shit. It was how many hood rock stars came out after fucking that whole SoundCloud wave? Everybody was a hood rock star after that. Everybody was, you feel me, nigga? When that famous Dex and all that shit, like niggas were getting lit. Niggas wasn't taking that shit serious, bro, but that shit made a way for niggas to like do their own fucking thing, bro. That shit really made a way for niggas, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro. That shit was legendary, bro. Ain't nothing topping that shit. Once I figured out how to do autotune, I was like, all right, I'm gonna put my foot on the gas and just keep that shit going, bro. I was 19, and I was at my boy Chad crib. Me and him had successfully figured out how to do this autotune shit. So that's when I had made my first 2 songs. I recently deleted them off SoundCloud, but them bitches, they was pretty ass, bro. But it was some autotune shit. And mind you, I knew how to make my own beats. So I was like, he was telling me for the longest time, he like, bro, you need to start rapping on your own beats, because I was continuously making beats like back to back. And like I was actually picking up my speed with like the amount of beats I'm making. So like now I'm up to like 5-6 beats a day. I'm just cooking them bitches up back to back to back. You know, I had nothing but free time at the time. I ain't had no kid or nothing like that. I was just free time, just in the studio 25/8. I'm just making beats back to back to back, and like never rapping on them, because obviously I didn't have the confidence to rap on them bitches, you feel me? So it really just was like, the transition into rapping was really just me pushing myself, because I wouldn't rap around nobody else. It would really, I would wait till I get my alone time, you know, when nobody else in that bitch but me. And I'm like, all right, you know, let me just try to figure that shit out. You know, that's why to this very day, I don't really go to studios. I record myself because I'm more comfortable that way, you feel me? Like, it was just like, it was a fairly easy transition, because like, I'm listening to all these rappers that I'm around. I'm recording people for money. I'm doing shit like that. You know, I'm, you know, studio shit, you know, I'm recording all these other rappers. I'm listening to their way they, you know, they spitting this shit, and I'm just like, I have all these ideas in my head. I'm like, bro, I can flow so much better on that shit, bro. Like, all you have to do is do this. All you gotta do is do that, and they are not taking my suggestions. I'm like, but I was like, all right, niggas, when they get the fuck out of my studio, I'm going in that bitch and I'm about to try that shit, you know. So I started trying that shit. I'm like, all right, I gotta do this better. All right, I gotta do that better. You feel me? So it was really just a work in progress the entire time through. You feel me? Nothing really come easy. I was just grinding that bitch out. I was legit doing that shit, you feel me? I was turning about 20 when I was like, all right, I can really do this shit. I was like, all right, I need to start figuring out where the fuck I'm gonna go. So that's when I started trying to build a website, trying to build my Instagram page, trying to build this, trying to build that. I'm building my YouTube. I actually got a couple beats on there that hit about 20,000 views from around that time. I think they're still up, but yeah, I was really grinding that bitch out. And once I seen the fact that like even the beat that I posted can do 20,000 views, I was like, holy fuck, like why the fuck would I stop? You feel me? So ever since then, it's kind of just been a consistent grind. And then my management, my boy Dave the Connect, he decided when I was like what 21, 22, he was like, bro, let's really do this shit. So ever since then, we really been trying to push this shit. You got a lot of hard ass artists like in South Florida. Like, I mean, I ain't even gonna say South Florida, but I'm gonna really say shit, Florida in general, nigga. Like Palm Beach, fucking up there in Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa. Like, it's a lot of hard ass artists. You got Julio, Fulio, Kodak Black. From like down here, you got Wham. You got a whole lot of niggas that's like actually setting the tone for this shit. Like it's a lot of hard ass artists, bro. Like who else? What's the Trapland Pat? There's a lot of them niggas, bro. Like every artist right now that's kind of speaking from a hood perspective is like actually doing that shit, and like it's actually something to follow behind and something to like, you feel me? It's paving the way for other niggas that want to do this shit, cause like them actual street niggas that, you feel me, be in the actual street shit. Like not everybody be in the street shit, and that's fine. Like they glorify the street shit, but at the same time they telling the story, so like that's always appreciated, you feel me? Like that's why there's so many niggas that fuck with that type of music, you feel me? It's like I feel like the music scene right now is fairly respectable. It's not too many clowns in this shit, and I fuck with it, you feel me? Like everybody who doing this shit actually doing this shit. Me and Kodak make some shit, that shit'll be dumb, bitch. I feel like that nigga can adapt to any sound, you feel me? Him and Rod Wave, that like his shit was crazy with Rod Wave. I fuck with that shit was hard. And like, you know, everybody was waiting on that shit. Like everybody was like, when the fuck is Rod Wave and Kodak collabing? And that shit happened, nigga, that shit was fucking a banger. Lil Durk, I see that nigga showing mad love to Kodak Black too. That nigga Lil Durk be fucking with Kodak. I like that shit. That Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy shit crazy too. I'm not gonna lie, that beef shit is it's a sticky situation off rip because you know, with the street mentality, you know, it comes with a lot of shit that industry niggas won't understand. So it's just like the music that came out of that shit though, I'm not gonna lie. Both of them dropping some hard ass shit. You can't even lie that NBA YoungBoy Bring the Hook, that shit like that O Block Pat, all that shit. Like that shit really crazy, but like I'm not gonna lie, he dropping hard ass shit. Even that shit with the baby, no Wi-Fi, or Wi-Fi, whatever that shit called, that shit hard too. But Lil Durk, that nigga going crazy too. Them boys just like, they doing that shit, but they doing it in such a hard ass way. So it's just like, it sucks that the fact that violence is gonna get hyped up, but at the end of the day, they making that shit like sound raw as fuck. Well, you gotta admit, they making that shit sound raw. So it's just like, it's obviously gonna be niggas on both sides that's, I hate this nigga, I hate that nigga, but at the end of the day, they both making some hard ass music, nigga. You feel me? So that shit finna be out there regardless. So I don't know, bruh. It's a fucked up situation though, because it really show you how industry shit can get. You feel me? Nah, I feel like me cutting my hair is really gonna set me, like really gonna see if I stand out for real. You feel me? Like it's kind of a test to myself, you know. And like, I don't know, I wasn't really attached to my hair. Like a lot of people like, damn, you crazy for chopping your shit off, but your shit was long, your shit was this and that. But it's just like, I don't know, I don't really get attached to nothing. You feel me? It's easy for me to let shit go, especially shit like that. Right. I mean, like the creative process in itself, but it's just like, me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but like the feeling that I get personally from creating some shit that like, damn, I really impress myself most of the time. I'd be like, damn, bro. It's getting to the point where it's like, it's just getting real easy to impress myself. And I try to make it harder and harder to impress myself every time. So I kind of try to keep challenging myself, keep this shit pushing, you feel me? Like, I try to switch it up every time. That's why it became so normal for me to be versatile. Like, I can rap on some trap shit, I can do some auto-tune shit, you feel me? I can do some love shit, I can do some hard shit, you feel me? Like, it's very easy for me to be versatile because I push myself so hard, like, day in and day out. Like, 10,000 hours, I just push myself. So, and like lately, I've been rapping on my own beats. So like, I wasn't doing that shit when I first started rapping. I was not rapping on my own beats. Like anybody around me will tell you that shit. Like they'll be like, bro, your beats hard. Why you don't rap on them? But it's just like, as a producer, when you cooking your own shit up, it's just like you get tired of that shit so quick. Like you hear that shit from the start to the finish like 50 times back to back to back. So by the time you finish hearing that shit, you don't even want to rap on that shit.